Hi guys, welcome to Wade In. We are back. Myself, Adam McCullough, Savage Dan is here, and today we are not here with Steve the Madman because he's on a top secret mission, or Josh Denzel, who's already out in New York ahead of fight week. We have got Miles Thuran here for Wade In. You're back on Wade In. How's it feel?
It feels great. I love this show, man.
I heard you think your name backwards is No Fear.
Well, if you jig it,
No Reef.
the letters around.
Yeah.
Is it actually that?
Yeah. Fair
It's
enough.
not.
It's not. Last time we were together, we were in Sheffield with Anthony Joshua as he was gearing up for the fight in New York against Andy Ruiz Jr. This is the week. We are going to New York. How you feeling? You excited?
Yeah, very excited. It should be a great fight, great trip. And yeah, I think we're going to see a clinic.
As we were saying, last week we dropped the video with Savage Dan and Anthony Joshua. They were in the ring together. Was you
scared?
worried?
No, not at all. You know, listen, it's not my first rodeo. It's not my first time in the ring. Not my first time in the ring with a champion either. You know, I looked at him and I thought, you're big.
Trouble.
You're big. You know, this is going to take more than a couple of shots.
Could you see why opponents would be intimidated by him just by his size?
100%. He's an imposing figure, especially if he wants to be. You know how hard it is to be 18 stone just anyway. And then to be of pure muscle. Ridiculous. And be 6'6". And be good looking. And be just everything, man. Just he's got it all.
Some people get everything, I suppose.
Yeah,
did the
mad.
sparring give you the itch to get back in the ring?
Do you know what? It did ignite a little bit of something. But I haven't woken up early to do any runs yet. And that's where you know.
Damn.
That's
You
kind of
running
where
the
you know.
hills again,
Yeah. That's where you know if you're bottom line, I say this. If you wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. to do your runs, you're a foul.
You're going to be jumping in the ring again anytime soon?
Hopefully.
We need to get you a fight, you know. I reckon
You know what?
Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, JD, somehow we can pull
We're
some
gonna,
strings.
yeah, it's gonna.
You've
it's
got
gonna,
an audience.
It's
there.
gonna cost a bit. It is gonna cost a bit, but
What are you, super middleweight, roughly?
nah, I'll never make that now. I'll make light heavy.
That's a good weight.
That'll work. What about you? You talked a lot about fighting me in particular, so
You're gonna have to come down.
we could do your call.
I'm
Can we
12
do
stone.
that?
Yeah,
We can
I
do
think
your
I
call.
I'm 12 stone. How much you weigh
definitely.
now?
I'll weigh whatever you need me to weigh.
Yeah, you need to get to 12. If you get to 12, I'll put it on the line.
Easy.
He's got a drop.
It's fine.
He's got a drop. He's got
All
a
the way.
drop.
Yeah, that's
I'm-
fine.
I'm-
That's
I'm
fine.
not worried
And I
about
can
it.
only use my front hand or something like that. I don't know, left hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can need
Feeling
more
confident
than
now?
that. Yeah, he's gonna need more than that. That Joshua, that sparring doesn't scare me. Then doesn't mean anything. He didn't hit back.
That wasn't sparring. That was just pad work.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm sparring tonight. I've been sparring.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about me.
All right.
Don't worry about me.
We'll get to
All right.
12 stone.
Used to leave it off. Yeah, we're gonna get into some of the comments from that video anyway. Someone already commenting what we've just been discussing, which is Ariful saying, "Okay, AJ is huge." Which
Yeah.
We all know.
Yeah, he is.
Grant saying AJ is a true champ, talks good and respectfully his stuff about Dillian, while Dillian trash talks about him. Any thoughts on Dillian and?
Yeah, I think Dillian should pipe it down now, man, with the trust talk. Yeah, he should, man. I personally think be a bit more amicable, be a bit more nice.
What I would like to say before you keep digging is, on Wade In, we are friends of Dillian White. So
I've met him.
And also, yeah, you were there when we were there.
you
with
didn't
Dylan
have all
White.
this talk then.
And
didn't really
also
say
then
anything.
you tried to get into it with him then as well, if I remember rightly.
He got a bit agitated, but I stood my ground. I was
he
ready.
said he called you a
You had
liar.
no ground.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, he called me a liar, and I wasn't lying. I said to him I wasn't lying. I looked him dead in the eyes.
Wait, do you know what? I think we've just found one of your sparring opponents.
Oh.
Josh says, "Love the way Savage Dan was actually trying to learn." Good video. What did you learn from that day?
Yeah.
I learned, do you know what? I learned that AJ learns well and fast. He actually understands. So a lot of boxers just box and they don't really understand exactly why they're doing certain things, but they just have the mechanics and they are very good at doing something once they've repeated it over and over again. Whereas AJ actually does know the theory of pretty much everything. And I would expect him to actually, coming up through a GB setting with McCracken and everyone around him, he's going to know why that shot is being thrown and what gaps that leaves and etc. etc. So I was very impressed with how he was able to explain how he deals with certain opponents and why he deals with them like that.
Anything with Savage Dan gets a like from me.
Thanks, Kashan. Thank you. Yeah.
So no. We got to touch on that. So anything Savage Anything you do, Savage Dan, gets a like. That means he's going to give me 4 likes.
Well,
Thank you, Kasha.
this is a man who doesn't know the difference between Orthodox and Southpaw.
Oh.
Yeah, this is
Who's telling lies?
zero knowledge. Of
We're moving on.
Lamek says, "Was the I love that this question's been asked. Was the contract at the end really offered?"
We're in talks.
Jack says, "Nobody, literally nobody, Savage Dan yet."
I don't understand this joke.
You don't understand.
Neither did I. You need to explain.
Yeah.
So it's like a kind of meme thing, isn't it? Where nobody says anything, but that certain person keep. Because in that you keep saying yeah. But
Oh,
I know
I'm
why
saying
you do
yeah.
it. Because when you're being coached, I know some coaches like to see that you're taking it in, so you just keep saying yeah. It's kind of.
Okay.
You kept doing that.
I thought it was like a joke and the yep was part. Why is there a YHEP?
Because
I thought maybe that was something.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it's like your head is.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I thought it was like
You thought it was an acronym.
yes.
Is that the right thing that I just said?
Yeah.
See, he's doing it now.
Yep.
Jabril says, "Wish he would fight Wilder instead of Savage." Damn.
Ooh.
Same
Okay,
difference. Both dangerous. Both dangerous.
Now, today's weigh-in is a very, very special weigh-in because you're going to get to hear from Anthony Joshua all the way from New York as he gears up for that fight on Saturday, June the 1st. We're going to be following him out there later on in the week, so you'll get plenty more weigh-in content from the night as well. But before we do that, we've got lots of news to be talking about. There's been so much going on in the world of boxing over the last few weeks. You've been keeping up to date with it all, hopefully.
Yep.
Hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not just saying yep.
Yep. Well, if I have
Right then. Recently, Eddie Hearn's been talking about Dillian White against Tyson Fury. Now, first of all, that fight sounds amazing as soon as you just say that. Now, the latest on that is we heard that it was going to get sanctioned as a way to find out who should fight Deontay Wilder. Now, it sounds weird because that's a fight that Tyson Fury's just rejected. So why is he going to go into an eliminator for that position? But Fury came out and said, "I'll do it if there's a diamond belt on the line from WBC." So it's looking like he's only going to do it if there's a chance of a little bit of silverware there. Eddie Hearn's been speaking recently, and he said very likely that the Oscar Rivas fight will be for the interim WBC world title. And then we have confirmed we are happy to fight Tyson Fury next because he's come out and said he will fight Dillian for the diamond belt. We've wrote to the WBC and said, "Great news, Tyson Fury will fight Dillian White for the diamond belt." So we're in for that now. That was on IFL TV as well. The winner of Rivas against White will be #1 contender for Wilder's bout, but Hearn reckons there's still a fight before that happens.
Okay.
More goalposts getting moved for Dillian White. But what do you think? Do you think Tyson Fury is being serious, and do you think Eddie Hearn is kind of just calling his bluff here?
I think Tyson Fury said it knowing that it probably wouldn't be sanctioned because I know the WBC do kind of bring out a belt and put a belt in for a fight kind of whenever they please, but it doesn't make much sense for them to
fight
have that for the diamond belt. I think Fury said it knowing that the WBC wouldn't sanction that fight, but you never know, they might sanction it.
Do you think Tyson Fury may, if he does actually think, "I want this fight for the diamond bout," and he's actually being serious that he'll take it, do you think he's maybe thinking that this is a fight that has the massive UK appeal?
If you are Tyson Fury, would you want that diamond belt, or would you actually just want the one that you did actually
That's
want?
why I find it weird. That's because, like, why is Fury coming out and saying this?
I think Eddie Hearn has forced his hand though, to be fair, because Eddie Hearn's saying, "Okay, cool, we'll fight you for that belt. Let's just set it up."
I mean, to be
now he's
honest,
like,
Dillian White and Rivas, that's going to be...
That's a massive fight.
It's a good fight, and it's for it puts him in a position basically as mandatory because he'll have the interim WBC. Would he then have to fight Fury? I don't know. It's definitely a fight I'd love to see.
Fans, we all
It's
wanna
just
see
not a fight that makes too much sense for either of them.
No.
Now,
Especially Dillian White.
I kind of agree with what Miles saying in terms of, I think Fury's come out and said this, and Eddie Hearn's like saying, "Right, WBC, you've heard what he said on social media."
Yeah.
So he's kind of saying, "Now use that, take this as sort of like it's written, and that, all right, we'll fight him."
Yeah.
And now it's kind of the ball's in Tyson Fury's court, and he'll probably come out now and I don't know, there'll be an excuse as to why that fight's. I just don't think any of this is serious.
I can't see. I mean, look, bottom line, we see fights ordered all the time that don't happen. So just because one can happen certainly doesn't mean in boxing that it's ever going to.
is it a risk that Dillian White doesn't need to take? Because he's lining himself up for these big fights against possibly AJ or Wilder. So then why fight a Fury who's got no belt?
Exactly.
Like, the diamond belt's not the belt you want.
Just the fight he just had with Wilder was a taxing fight. I think he needs like at least 2 more to get back into.
He's got one soon. He's got one soon.
Yeah, but he needs like just gonna have Schwartz. I think he needs 1 more after that.
But Fury's team are saying that they'll either want Bryant Jennings or Kubrat Pulev after this one.
Pulev. That's the one.
I mean, Jennings is a good fighter, but in many ways, it's a fighter that's kind of tailor-made for Tyson Fury. He's fought one of those kind of fighters already in Steve Cunningham, who put him down, and he ended up getting rid of him. But for me, it is a step backwards, 2 steps backwards actually. If you're fighting Schwartz and then Jennings, and then coming back, we know that you're at the level that you need to be at to fight for world titles.
I feel like Fury and Wilder are now doing what they were accusing everyone else to do.
Boxing's a sport of momentum, and when you've got it, you've kind of got to step on the gas. So yeah, Fury might have looked very good against Wilder, but then a year of not being in the ring and fighting kind of people that you know are a level below you can actually drag you down to their level sometimes.
If I'm Dillian White though, I don't want this fight. I'll say to Eddie Hearn, don't make this happen. We need to go for the titles.
But this fight makes so much money.
Yeah, but it's just he's made money.
Yeah. For now, I probably agree with you. I would say if I was Dillian White, after this, I'm going to fight Oscar Rivas, who's an unknown quantity.
Dangerous fight.
I'm going to beat him, and then I want a world title.
Yeah, 100%. That's it.
I want to see Dillian White with a world. I'd love Dillian White to beat Wilder and then them two, AJ and White, fight for the undisputed.
Yeah.
I don't think that will happen, but that would be the ideal for me. But then obviously you miss out on the AJ Wilder fight, which...
I think that's going to happen first.
I personally think we're going to see all of these fights. I do feel like we'll see them all. We might see them a little bit past their sell-by date, but I think we'll see them all.
Definitely.
Talking about Deontay Wilder, he says he's going to dominate Brazil, Dillian White. Now, you both seen that fight, I say. You both seen the round?
Adam, like yourself, you stayed up late because I saw you tweeting. And it was a waste of time.
Was it a waste of time?
It was
when
a waste
you
of
get
time.
to see that, though?
We could have watched that fight on the news the next morning.
We could have watched it on Vine the next morning.
Exactly.
If Vine was still about.
There's something seriously wrong with Deontay Wilder and his power.
You know when he doesn't respect the power of the opponent?
Yeah.
It's a smash for them because...
It's not just that. He's 15 stone and he's hitting people. This is round 1. You're as fresh as a daisy.
Yeah.
This is not like a grinding down job. He hits you and you stay hit. And I'm not sure where he gets it from because he's not the biggest heavyweight. In fact, he's one of the smallest ones in terms of weight. And he's hitting people and they are just going.
Do you think Brazil should have just stayed back?
I personally think it is wrong tactics, but...
I think he caught him a little bit. After he got rocked first, Brazil.
He did.
He caught Wilder and then he got excited.
Yeah. But the thing is, if there's one thing you don't want with Wilder, for me, it's a firefight.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can put you out in just one.
Yeah.
And Brazil obviously needed to stay behind his jab and just take a little bit of his confidence away. You've got to let him know that it's not going to be the fight you want.
Yeah.
If you come out swinging, this is exactly what Deontay Wilder wants.
Now, Deontay Wilder was told the Boxing Voice that the Dillian White fight is going to come. If he keeps winning, there's going to be no way around it. When it does, what do you mean if he keeps winning? He's been winning. When it does happen, he's going to be like a Dominic Brazil. He's more than a Dominic Brazil. Be careful what you ask for, young man. You just might get it.
The thing is, at this point, all you can do is talk smoke.
Yeah.
That's it. If you're Wilder and you're knocking everyone out, you can say what you want. And Dillian White's been knocking everyone out as well. So
we've got two.
Ultimately, those are fights that we actually couldn't really call. I guarantee.
You don't think you can call that fight then?
No. Personally, I don't think even if they fought, 3 times, would get the same result 3 times. It's not easy to call. Can you call it?
I'd say 60-40 to Wilder.
So you think you'd give the edge to Wilder?
I think it's odds in his favor.
Okay, so how do you think this fight would go?
I think it would be Deontay giving up the centre of the ring because he doesn't mind giving it up and then coming in very fast.
He'd have to respect Dillian's power a little bit.
Yeah, as in, look, Wilder's fought punches before, so I don't think he's that scared of punching power.
Well, Ortiz was a massive puncher.
Exactly.
He's going to fight him next.
Fighter, but it doesn't... for me, Wilder kind of... if you want to step onto him, he'll let you have that middle of the ring. And then what he does is, at that moment where you think you can step forward, bam! And he kind of meets you with a right hand, and this is just, it's over. The one thing that Dillian Whyte has that could really, really be a problem for Wilder is the fact that Wilder throws his right hand without thinking about anything other than landing this right hand.
Yeah.
And I would say Dillian Whyte's best shot is when he catches a left hook, a right hand aimed upstairs and counters straight off it. It's what he hurt AJ with. It's what he knocked out Chisora with. Yeah. It's what he's knocked out Lucas Brown with. His left hook upstairs, for me, is his best shot, especially as a counter punch. At the top level, you can't just walk onto people. You have to, for every step you take into their space, you're probably going to have to pay in some kind of way.
Okay.
Did you watch Michael Hunter the weekend?
No.
Against Fabio Maldonado. He won in 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Then he called out everybody, to be fair. He called out Anthony Joshua, called out Dillian Whyte. Might have called out Savage Dan. I kind of lost count of all the names.
I'm backing Dan with that one. Yeah. I'm in his corner with that one. Me and Spinksy. I'm in Savage Dan's corner with that one.
We got AJ in the corner, we got Spinksy, and now we got Miles.
I'm the cut man.
Listen, this could be, a corner with 0 experience.
Michael Hunter calling out White.
Yeah.
Is that a fight you want to see Hunter?
No, do you know what?
He lost against, was it Usyk? He lost
yes, he did. Yeah, there's no shame in that. But he lost him at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm not sure how good Hunter is. I don't think he's elite.
Nah.
But I think he'll do. And America haven't had, an elite heavyweight for a long time. Now they've got Wilder, and they're kind of behind him trying to put everyone else. But in reality, we know that Brazil isn't an elite heavyweight. We also know that Hunter isn't even an elite cruiserweight. So it's going to be quite difficult for him to really make a name. But because there are such few names at heavyweight, it's not too difficult
to get a fight.
Well, not even just to get a fight, but to make a dent into the top 10.
Okay.
I mean, you look at some. Dominic Brazil was 5th.
Yeah.
In the WBC.
Yeah.
He just got knocked out quick, and he's 5th.
Oh, we have got a request from
JB's.
somebody special. So let's add him in right now.
Arm up there. Good luck to your arm. Volume up. Is it up?
Hey!
Yes!
There he is, the champ. What's happening, AJ?
What's going on? Check it out, check it out.
What's happening, champ? How you feeling? You feeling at home in New York?
Yeah, bro, feeling good. JD and that behind me, you know what I mean? Just like usual settings.
You don't feel out of place there in New York?
There's a lot of Brits out here, believe it or not.
There's a lot of what?
There's a lot of Brits out here, so it feels like you're back home.
I wasn't sure what he said there. He's definitely said a lot of...
Oh! Brits. Everyone says something else. I'm focused.
Avidi, how much classic hip hop you been listening to driving around the streets of New York, man?
Bro, I've been listening to that real hip hop. I'm not talking about classic, I'm talking about the real BG Knockout, Easy E's, Big L's, both Thugs and Harmony, Uncle Murders. The list goes on. My playlist is looking good right now.
How much are you getting the tea and crumpet jokes?
I don't even really drink tea anyway, so it's like...
It's mad. They think that we just drink tea and speak to the Queen.
Yeah.
That's what they think.
To be honest, that's the lifestyle I'm actually striving for. Just to sit back in the garden and drink tea and eat crumpets. How
many times have you trained to Meek Mill's Dreams and Nightmares in your camp? It's one of the most trained songs.
The biggest. 100%, it's the biggest tune. And it's in that playlist, so it just repeats itself time and time again. We're in the gym for 4 hours at a time, so that playlist is on repeat.
It's in my playlist when I'm lifting 100 kg in the gym. It's in my playlist, gets me motivated, gets me gassed.
Is that your warm-up set?
That's my top end set.
He only has one set, man. He just have one set.
Meek is from Philly, where they take their boxing seriously. I know you got to sit down and chat with him. Does he know what he's talking about when he's talking his boxing?
Do you know what? He's been into a different culture. He loves boxing because of, as you said, the history, the Rocky films you film there and so on. But his outtake is more like the hustle, the grind, and he just appreciates what boxers go through to kind of try and rise through the ranks because he's done the same thing in his music as well.
Champ, my arm is killing me.
Bro, my arms, I just had to swap.
No, you don't hold it this side.
Alright, cool. Let me go. I've got a stronger.
My arm is killing me.
This is the longest you haven't fought for a while. I think it's 9 months. Are you just itching to get in there now?
Yeah, 100%. Training's been good though, even though it's tough, it's been good. But I'm definitely itching to get in there. Look, this is what I'm going to be performing in front of Saturday night. Well, a lot more people, but just people come to see what's going on. So just looking forward to putting on a performance. That's what I do now, is perform, no pressure.
You seen Ruiz fight not too long ago in April. You know a lot about him, but you haven't had a lot of time to prepare for him. He won his last fight. He's a bit more slimmer now. How do you think you're going to deal with that?
Feints, head movement, and just break him down. Quite strong, so hopefully when he feels the power and the strength, he'll be like, okay, this is it. If I make a mistake, I'm going to get caught and he goes into his shell. It's easier to break a man down when they're scared.
Yo, AJ, we know you're busy over there anyway, and the signal's cutting out, but thank you for giving your time.
Good luck, man.
And we'll see you later on in the week. Good luck Saturday.
Good luck, bro.
Thank you guys, I appreciate your time, yeah?
Catch you later, bro.
Cool, sit up.
Right then, AJ. You enjoyed that little chat with AJ?
It was sick, man.
It was
Well,
good.
champ.
You loved it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's the first time you chatted to AJ, isn't it?
Yeah. Won't be the last though.
Won't be the last.
Won't be the last.
Hopefully we'll get you in the ring there with him so you can...
Sparring session.
You want the sparring
Yeah,
session?
why not? I'll be one of his middleweight boxers.
Middleweight, bro. If he's not a middleweight, bro.
I'll be one of his middleweight boxers. You'll be promotions.
Oh, you want him to... Nah,
Yeah,
worrying about
yeah.
sparring.
No, I'm going to be one of his boxers. I'm going to be. This is it now. I'm going into this.
Wait, he's already got him.
With a record of 0-26. We have Miles Fear on.
No fear.
It's true, you can't have no fear to keep losing. Just to keep losing.
Right. Talking about who's losing, we're going to move on to this part of the show now where we find out who's getting weighed in New York this weekend at the Madison Square Gardens. This is going to be amazing. The card's building up nicely as
We're
well.
taking over. Look at this. It's like we've taken over New York.
It is. No, we actually are taking over New York. And Joshua Buatsi against Marco Antonio Periban. Good fight.
Yes, it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
And depending on how good Josh Buatsi does,
Yeah.
his next fight, it could be headlining a show in the end of July or August, I think.
Perfect, yeah.
So he needs a good performance.
Yeah, he does. And I think we'll get it. I think he's such a solid fighter. I think he's got everything.
Think you've got what it takes to be world champion one day?
Yeah, 100%. I think he is a world champion. All he has to do is stay focused. Antonio Periban is no one to sleep on. He's a veteran and he's a good fighter. So Buatsi will have to be at the races for it.
I think he wins though. He wins.
Yeah, he does. He'll beat him.
So who's getting weighed in? Say his name.
Marco Antonio Periban.
Yeah, well, we know Periban's getting weighed in.
Periban
Yeah.
is getting weighed in. Sorry, mate.
So
Josh Kelly against Ray Robinson. We saw Josh Kelly's last performance.
Yeah.
Now, me personally,
a bit.
I felt like he could have got the guy out of there.
Yeah.
But the showboating and stuff like that, it's good to watch.
He said he hurt his hand.
Yeah.
You know, listen, he's one of the most skillful fighters we have. Full stop. It looks nice. He can punch. He can throw
Slick.
4 left hooks after another left hook, after another one. He is very, very, very good. He does it with a swag. You know, he's the pretty boy. This is his thing. And you know what? A lot of people don't showboat and don't, have ridiculous movement because they can't.
That's true.
And he can, and he's good. So I think he's going to come and he's going to put on a clinic again. And I think everyone's going to want to stop their opponents. You know, it's your first time on American soil as a pro. He's going to want to do it. And as long as that is not Sugar Ray Robinson from around 50 years ago, he'll have a good night. That's it. I'm going to go with Josh Kelly is going to weigh in Ray Robinson.
Yep. I agree with
But
that.
On point.
it's just one of those names.
Callum Smith against Hassan and Dam. Callum Smith's
Smith.
been linked with a lot of big fights as
Yes,
well recently.
yeah,
What you
yeah.
saying?
Callum Smith all day. All day. He needs to win this fight because I want to see him fight Saunders.
But what I will say is, Hassan Nadam is not. He may not be an elite boxer, but he is tough. And I've seen him fight a lot of people and do well against a lot of people. I remember him from like years ago. So he's a veteran, and he's probably coming there to kind of say, all right, cool, I'm going to kind of dig my heels in here and try and get a result out of these English guys that are coming over as well.
I think Callum wins though. Definitely. He has to win. He's a better fighter than this guy.
Hassan and Dan getting weighed in.
Weighed in.
Weighed in all day. That's the chief support as well on the night, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that'll be a good fight to watch. Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz Jr. The main event. AJ the champ against the Snickers eating Andy Ruiz. You know, every time I see him, he's talking about Snickers. I don't.
Snickers eating.
I'm not ripping him for his weight. He actually has been. You had that knowledge, right?
What's that?
You knew he was eating Snickers before
No.
every fight.
I didn't know that. But now I do.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Miles.
He's going to lose anyway. You can have
Especially
Snickers,
Miles.
you can have a dime bar, you can have a topic.
That's the beauty of being a heavyweight.
You can have a bounty. It's not going to help you, mate. It's not going to help him.
Topic. When was the last time anyone bought a
Topics
topic?
are fire though.
It's-
Topics
A
are-
lion bar.
Nah, Topic's my favourite chocolate. So Dan, if Topic Bar was a heavyweight, who would he be? Because this guy obviously likes Snickers.
Butterbean.
But, oh.
Nah, he went a topic bar. He was a whole one of the big ass
Butterbean, then.
Cadbury Dairy Milks.
I'm gonna go
me,
Butterbean. What? I bet you buy a double decker as well.
Nah.
What's the matter with you?
Andy Ruiz Jr. I think he's going to get weighed in.
Yeah.
I think we will kind of all think that.
I've watched his last few fights, and I know he's a combination puncher. He's had one loss to Parker, and he didn't get hurt or anything like that. These kind of fighters, even though they don't look the part, are far more effective than
Mostly he
than
feels
they
like
look.
he won that Park fight. as well.
Exactly. So there's obviously a lot more to him than what it looks like. But I'm not sure if he's
I don't think
gonna
it
have
ends
anything.
early. Not
Do you
very
not?
early.
So I have a
Not
I
a
have a
one
feeling-
round, 2 round.
I think it's a 3-round job.
I love what Dan's doing. He's trying to build a case for him.
No,
he's getting
I'm
out
basically
there.
saying, look, boxing's a strange sport where you can't see anything effective in that person that can trouble that person, but you get in a ring and that person's
I think
all kinds of
those
tricky.
in the know he's a handful.
yeah.
And know that he's going to make it difficult, especially early on.
Yeah.
It's whether if AJ can weather that storm, get him out of there. I want to see AJ get him out of there
There's not gonna be a
before the last rounds of the fight,
Yeah.
so that he can be there beating his chest, saying, right, Deontay,
Yeah.
whoever wants it, come get some.
So Dan, you're trying to tell me there could be another Buster Douglas on the cards?
No,
Sure.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in theory, this is it's an unbeaten fighter. In his books, it's an unbeaten fighter.
Okay.
It's not even that much of a.
No.
It's not as big as a shock as.
No,
Buster
this
Douglas.
isn't that kind
it's
of
a big
massive shock, but
I think it's a massive.
it's a
shock.
combination puncher. Yeah, he's a lot smaller. He's got shorter arms, etc., etc. I am personally expecting Joshua to put on such a performance that Andy Ruiz doesn't even lay a glove on him. But
Ooh, that's nice.
I understand how difficult it is to deal with combination punches,
Well,
and they are difficult early, as we've seen with Povetkin, as we've seen with certain fighters.
Something you'll learn when we get you in the
When
ring.
you start watching boxers as well.
I know that, but I'm just saying he's getting out of there. You're doing all this, and I respect it, Dan. Boxing knowledge is amazing. He's losing. I don't care about your Snickers. So, yeah,
So on that note, anyway, that's that. We need to get ready.
Yeah,
to
we're
go
gonna
New
go.
York.
Let's go
So
get this back. See you later, mate.
catch you later.
Oh,
We are going. You're not coming.
yeah, I thought I was. Didn't you never?
No, you're not coming. No. Sorry. I will see you soon.
Adam, Dan, like, comment, and subscribe. Dan, give me a ticket.